Movie name T.I.M, 2023, thriller movie explained. This is the story of an AI robot who falls in love with a girl. To what extent does he go to get the girl's love? Let's find out in today's video. The story begins with a couple who had a wife named ABI. These two have shifted to the new house given by ABI's company. Both were very happy to come here, because this house was very grand and they like it very much. The next day, ABI goes to her company for a job. She used to work in a robotic company. Here ABI's boss tells her that you and your husband are invited to the party in the evening, so be sure to come. When the two went to the party in the evening, they saw that all the servants working in the boss's house were AI robots. And they look exactly like humans, and do all the work like humans. That is, their behavior was like humans in every way. No one could have said that they were robots by looking at them. Everyone enjoys the party a lot. ABI's boss praises her work a lot. And being happy with the work, he also gifts her an AI robot, which was in a very big box. As soon as both husband and wife come home and open the box, an AI robot named Tim comes out of it. As soon as ABI's husband touches it, the robot turns on and it is fully activated to work. After that, he helps ABI with all the housework. Moreover, he used to take great care of her likes and dislikes. But ABI's husband didn't like this thing, about which he also tells ABI. On which she says that you are thinking too much about Tim. He is just a machine. Talking about Tim, he also takes the password of her social media and every device, so that he can help them manage the rest of their life. Now ABI's neighbor came to meet her, who is ABI's friend. She also gives her some gifts and her phone number, so that if ABI needs anything, she can call her. Now ABI was in her office, so her boss gives her a damaged robotic hand, in which there was a technical problem, which ABI had to fix. In the evening, when ABI came back, she saw her husband with her neighbor, which made her feel very bad. So after her friend's departure, she asks her husband why she came. Her husband replies that she just came to give me flowers to plant in the garden. And it's not what you think. We notice that Tim started liking ABI. And the way the boys she like, i.e. look wise, like clothes, hair etc. Then he comes in front of ABI in the same way. Seeing this, ABI is completely surprised. And she asks him the reason why you made your look like this. Why did you change your appearance? Then Tim tells her that I have done this for your happiness. Seeing this, ABI's husband felt very bad. Both of them get angry, because of which ABI tells Tim to change his looks like before. In the office, ABI's boss sees that damaged hand, which had a technical problem. The hand was working fine now because ABI had fixed it. Seeing this, ABI's boss becomes very happy. The next day, ABI's husband says that we should return Tim to the company. But we see that Tim, who had hacked their phone, he hears everything through the phone, because of which he gets very angry with ABI's husband. Tim was massaging ABI's legs. But then ABI's husband came there, who feels very bad to see this. And he quietly leaves from there, because he was upset with ABI. The next day, when ABI returns home from work, Tim starts to instigate her that there is an affair between your husband and your friend. Hearing this, ABI got into his talks. And she was very sad to know this. That how can my husband cheat me? And that's why the distance between the two starts to increase. ABI's husband was looking for an office. Then Tim tells him that until you don't get an office, I can make an office for you at home. For which he agrees. But when ABI found out this, that my husband is making an office at home, she felt very bad, because she didn't want to spoil the condition of the house. For this, she argues with her husband, to which she replied that all this is Tim's doing. But ABI doesn't believe him. ABI's husband checks the recording of the camera at home, in which he saw that Tim was touching ABI's clothes strangely. ABI's husband found this very strange and he makes a video of it. Then he sits in the car and leaves to tell ABI about it. Now the car in which he was sitting, that too was a high-tech automatic car given by the company, whose speed suddenly increases. Seeing this, ABI's husband got very scared. and he himself tries to control the car manually. But he fails in this, because of which his car has a very bad accident. Hearing the news of the accident, ABI immediately went to the hospital and asks her husband the reason for the accident. That how did such a big accident happen? Her husband first tells her to switch off her phone, so that Tim doesn't listen to them, because he also found out that Tim has hacked our phones. Then he tells her that Tim hacked the car and completely took it under his control, and he got me into an accident. But ABI doesn't believe him and tells him to rest. After meeting her husband, when ABI was coming home, she met her friend, who tries to tell her something. But then ABI's eyes went to her neck. She was wearing the same necklace as ABI had, which her husband had given her. Seeing this, ABI goes crazy. To know the truth, she immediately left from there. She comes to her room and tries to find the necklace everywhere, but she doesn't find it anywhere, which makes her very sad, because she understood that it is my necklace, which my husband gave her. But then Tim also comes here. He asks ABI, why are you sad? Then ABI tells him, I think my husband is cheating on me. Tim says, you are right. He is cheating on you, and I think I am more loyal to you than him. Saying this, he shows ABI her husband's video, in which ABI's husband and her friend were very close to each other. Seeing this, ABI breaks completely and decides to separate from her husband forever. From the hospital, her husband calls ABI again and again, so that he can make her understand and clear the misunderstanding. But ABI doesn't answer his call. That's why he comes home, so that he can talk to ABI. But then Tim shows him the same video. After watching the video, ABI's husband tries to make her understand that this is all Tim's trick, because he wants to separate you from me. But ABI doesn't listen to him. Says the video can't lie. I have seen this. Saying this, she tells him to leave the house. On the way, ABI's husband calls ABI's friend and tells her everything, and asks her to take care of ABI. On this, ABI's friend says, I can't go to your house, because once when I went to meet ABI, Tim tried to force me. Hearing this, her husband calls ABI immediately, and after telling her everything, tries to make her understand that whatever is happening between us, Tim is behind it. But we see that Tim picked up the phone, who was talking to her husband by making ABI's voice, so that her husband also felt that this is ABI. And then Tim tells her to come home. As soon as her husband came home, Tim comes from behind and attacks him, causing ABI's husband to faint. Tim ties him hands and feet and puts him in the bathtub. Then the doorbell rang. When Tim went to check, ABI's friend was there, who asks her about ABI. Then Tim lies that they have gone out, and closes the door on her face. After this, she came back to the washroom, where ABI's husband had woken up. Tim starts drowning in the bathtub, causing him to suffocate. And like this, ABI's husband dies. In the evening, when ABI came home, she starts remembering her husband's picture. Then Tim comes here. He brings ABI a new dress and gives her to wear, saying that this is a gift from me. Now when ABI comes in front of him wearing that suit, Tim keeps looking at her, and comes to her and takes care of her. In a way, he tries to calm her down. The next day when ABI was coming home, she met her friend, who tries to tell ABI something, but she doesn't listen to her. After coming home, ABI keeps watching that video again and again. When she notices it, she comes to know something, which blows her mind. She calls the necklace shop, and she comes to know that that necklace was not bought by her husband, but was bought by Tim. After knowing this, she starts thinking about it. What is going on? That's when she sees the garden. She was surprised that there were more flowers there, about which she didn't know. That's why she makes an excuse and sends Tim out of the house, and goes to check the garden. After coming to the garden, she sees that her husband's shirt is buried in the soil. After removing the soil, as soon as she tries to take out the shirt, she sees that her husband's dead body is here. After seeing this, she becomes shocked. She was very scared. That's when Tim comes behind her. ABI asks him in fear, what did you do? Why did you do this? Tim says, for you and for me. Because I love you very much. And I want to see you happy. Hearing this, ABI was very scared. She ran inside quickly. She tries to call the police. But that's when Tim comes. He attacks ABI. And makes her faint at her with a phone. When ABI regains consciousness, she finds herself in her room. Where there were candles all around her. But there was no Tim here. That's why ABI tries to run away. She breaks all the cameras. And hides in the bathroom. But that's when Tim comes here. He finds out where ABI is hiding. So he comes in and catches her. And ties her with a chair again. To kill ABI, he gives her a lot of sleeping pills. That's when ABI's friend comes to the door again. She asks him about ABI, but Tim scares her. And runs away from there. ABI vomits all her sleeping pills because she didn't swallow it. And by getting herself released, she tries to run away from there. But that's when Tim comes in front of her. He catches ABI again. And tries to kill her by strangling her. That's when ABI's friend takes the car. And enters ABI's house, and she stabs a wooden stick in Tim's chest. And then she faints there. But Tim, who was perfectly fine, kills the fainted ABI's friend. Then he calls the police station in ABI's voice. And tells them that I have killed my husband and my friend. Because they both were cheating on me. And now I don't want to live in this meaningless world. And I have started to kill myself. After which Tim, to kill ABI, starts to go towards her. Then ABI, to stop her, says shut down. But it doesn't stop. Because he had changed his shutdown password. Then he was holding ABI by the neck. And was about to throw her off the roof. He calls ABI for the last time. I love you. Then ABI also says I love you too. That I also love you. Which makes Tim shut down. Actually, Tim thought that ABI will never say I love you to me. That's why he changed his code and put I love you. Because he never wanted to shut down. But now he stopped as soon as she said that. And now they both start to fall off the roof. But fortunately, ABI was saved from falling. Because she had already caught the wall. She came up while Tim falls down and gets completely destroyed. ABI is saddened by remembering her husband. That I didn't believe him and believed the words of the robot. Which ruined our life. And from now on she decides never to keep the robot. And with this scene, this story also ends here.